I'm gonna start recording now, man. And I gotta
All
remember
right.
yesterday when I interviewed Limon, I stepped away from the fucking my mic control was off, dude. I'm a bad pop star.
Just little stuff you got to get used to.
Yeah, exactly, man. I like your setup, dude.
Appreciate it, man.
You
It's
got
taken a long time to
it's
get
like
all this.
it's like gamer multiplied by fucking music producer multiplied by you got the Apollo,
Oh yeah.
the Zen Buddhism with the
I'm
candle.
I'm definitely bougie. Also, I just love how candles smell. Like it's
That's
like I
true.
like being my studio. I like it to be like bright and lit. I don't like that darkness. So like most people use that for ambiance. No, I just use it because it smells great.
For sure, dude. I just have ADD and I forget to turn on the candle. You know, I'll fucking do it. You know what, dude? Let's go, dude. You're already inspiring.
Yes,
2
yes.
seconds in here.
That's how this works.
Okay, hold on. Boom. I'm in. It's gonna die in 2 seconds. Fuck. Okay, cool.
It's the thought that counts.
It's the
The
thought. I
idea
was
that
just
you do
gonna
it.
say.
Like,
It's the thought that counts on these kind of. Okay, dude. Let's get cracking. You in a good kind of state of mind? You feeling good?
yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Things have been kind of crazy the last couple of weeks, but like today, I'm kind of allowing myself to chill and relax and.
It's Sunday, baby. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so let's begin, dude. MelenKälē. I love how Sam F was calling you MelenKälē.
Oh my gosh.
Which
dude.
is kind of tight because what is a MelenKälē? Well, a MelenKälē is a fruit and a vegetable, which are very savage in the hierarchy of fruits and vegetables. You know, they're very serious.
Yeah, what a play on words MelenKälē would be.
They accomplish two very different things, flavor-wise. But MelenKälē, which I think that's such a dope name. Well, first off, let's freestyle here a little bit. How did you come up with your name?
So I was going by Mooch for a long time. That was a family name. Like
Right.
It was cool. And I had my engineer at the time. I now do my own engineering, but like
Yeah.
at the time, my engineer and his brother, they were telling me like, dude, you got to change it. And I was like, oh, it's a family name. I'm acting like I've got billboards and shit to where I need to keep the name. You know what I mean? No, like no, dude, it's just not. I had to sit back and look at it. I'm like, that's not very. So like, you know what I mean? Like no. That's not something people just like, oh man, I can't wait to listen to new Mooch.
The
It's
new
like,
Mooch.
oh.
Who knows, dude? Who knows?
But then my buddy was just like, he kept spitting out names, and one of them he said like MelenKälē Mooch, and I was just like, hold on, I didn't know what it meant. Full transparency, didn't know what it meant.
Right.
I looked it up and I saw the spelling. That's why I spell it that way, because that's literally how it's like the pronunciation in the dictionary is.
Yeah. Okay, that's fire, dude. And what was your first moment when you when did you know? What was your first moment when you're like, yeah, I want to do music versus, hey, I like listening to songs. When was it was like, okay, it's time. This is my
It
call.
kind of like I still to this day, like I'll have moments where I'm just like, damn, I still make music, because it started like
Wow.
it wasn't even my idea. Like I had two buddies that were really into like Dirt Nasty and what's his
Hell yeah.
name, Mickey Avalon and stuff
Oh,
like
wow.
that. They were recording on using one of those old headset mics. They would put it on the laptop and they would play the beat through Windows Media Player, and then everybody had to go in conjunction, and if anybody messed up, you just start
over again. That's savage.
So like I just picked it up naturally, and I always went last, obviously, because I didn't mess up. But,
There you go.
that's changed. So much has changed since then.
But that's good, dude, because that those are the early signs of life right there, of a future artist. So with
Hell
that
yeah.
said, you got the dirt. I mean, we all kind of we were in high school and shit. We all kind of had we had those kind of random rappers. I mean, for me, it was like
Right.
Andre Nicotina and shit when I was in high school. So
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
yeah.
about.
So, but who are some of your musical inspirations from any time? Dig as deep as you want or as shallow as you want.
I mean, for sure, Drake. I was a big Drake
Hell
fan,
yeah.
like from way back in the day. But even still, like now he just makes music that he wants, or just to prove a point and stuff like that. Like, I think that's dope. But
Yeah, interesting.
definitely Drake. Who else? I don't know. I'm a big country fan. Not huge, but like I do like country. I'll put it on when nobody's around, type shit.
Yeah.
Gotta keep my street cred intact. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, dude, I mean,
Um,
there's got to be a lot of, I mean, that's it's the second biggest or first biggest genre of music in America. Is it still? I think it's the first, no?
It might be.
Right? And nobody,
Well, especially the poppy stuff.
yeah, and the pop music and rap world try to like pretend it doesn't exist, but that's a huge part of the market, period. And there's a reason people gravitate towards it. So you're probably absorbing those parts and bringing it into your music. So
Yeah. And then, you know, like I do, it all just depends, man. Like I was talking to some producers, um, you know, I think it was, oof, like, you know, they'll just hit me up, be like, oh, what, I don't know if I make your kind of vibe, or I don't, what kind of songs do you like? What kind of beats do you like? I was like, I don't know, dude. I don't, when I'm in that, you know, when I'm in that mode, then I can kind of, I'll just pick one based on, I don't know, it'll just almost pick itself.
Yeah.
So having those, you know, that wide variety of stuff that I've kind of taken inspiration from helps me out in that aspect, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So yeah, man, I mean, Drake and I'm kind of seeing it now that you're saying kind of Drake and kind of like a country vibe. That's actually, first off, I love those kind of unusual stacks just in general. Like I always
Right.
like, I mean, country Drake is that's a fucking,
World ain't ready for that, bro.
world ain't ready for that.
country.
But when it arrives, eventually the world's gonna be like, duh.
Yeah, they'll buy it for
They'll
sure.
buy. They'll do more than, you know. They'll go nuts for something like that. That's got everything.
That's facts.
What was the first piece of music you ever made money on? Or how about this? Just to keep it more broad, what's the first time that you used music to make income in any way, shape, or
Well,
form?
as you guys know, like, you know,
Right.
like you and the founders of Net Gala kind of know, it's
Mhm.
like you don't make much.
Oh yeah.
And that was like I did my first album, like ever released my first album, because I used to use like Dat Piff. I wasn't buying
Hell yeah.
beats. It wasn't, I didn't take it that serious. And then I started taking it serious, and I released this this mixtape called Now You See Me, because I don't, even on my Instagram, which I'm bad at, I don't show my face that often because I'm
Sure.
just like,
Sure.
I got social anxieties, all that kind of shit.
Sure.
And stuff. My bad.
Yeah, for sure.
And
You're doing
So, yeah,
great
the
right now,
first-
by the way, man. You're killing it.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm in my comfort zone. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
catch me
man.
at my computer, we good.
Fuck yeah, man.
But yeah, man, it was a project called Now You See Me. I didn't make any with albums. Anytime I do it, there's always like expectation. You know what I mean? That comes
yeah.
along with it. Like you want to
course.
just make big stacks of money. No, that's not how it worked out.
Of course, man.
So, yeah.
Huh. So did you ever have, when you were kind of, I mean, listen, I feel like I'm still coming up in the game. I think you never stop coming up, no matter who you
Right.
are.
As long as there's someone above you, for sure.
Exactly. Well, did you ever have any like kind of mentors, either musically or in terms of industry, business stuff? Did you ever have somebody you kind of either looked up to, that you kind of had some kind of pen pal, anything, or somebody that literally helped you, guided you to the pitfalls?
Yeah,
Anything?
I have a couple.
Yeah,
Just
anybody particular?
The two major ones. Yeah, the two
Okay.
major ones is a producer named Coco, Jason
Mhm.
Coco Bridges. He did the song, you know, the Shake Your Tail Feathers with Diddy and
Oh
Nelly.
my God.
He made that. Yeah, dude, it
that
was
beat
so
is that beat
crazy.
is fucking fire. I mean, it still holds
So
up.
crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That was one of the first 20 beats he ever put on like a beat pack to give to somebody.
I love stories
And
like that
over
so
and
much.
over and over again with Tim McGraw and Nelly, it was him too.
What?
And
Oh,
and
that's
the
crazy.
only reason that those beats came along is because that was just happened to be on the CD that he had in his car that day. Crazy.
I love that,
Yeah.
dude. I think that speaks so much to, you know, if you were a music producer in the grinding or whatever pop writers, artists, whatever, in the past like 5, 6, 7, 8 years in the days of streaming, you know, you'll be in there and you'll be making something hot that undeniably, when you're making it, like, this is fucking sick. You have all
Right.
it has all of the, you know, the DNA of like you as a person, your musical taste, whoever you're, and there's something hot, and then you get stuck at this, okay, well, how do I roll it out, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens is the bias kicks in and you just go, well, maybe this shit sucks, right? Which is not true, period. And I think that like artists, no matter who they are, whether they have super clout, whether they're just in their bedroom, I think genius records exist right now on people's hard drives, but they just don't come out ever, and they never will. So in a situation like that, homie just had that shit on his CD,
Yeah.
right? Because you hear about this stuff in hip hop all the time, right? He just had it on the CD. Of course it's hot. He made it. He finished it. Of course it's hot.
Mhm.
Of course someone can use it somewhere, right? Just a question
Yeah.
of how do we get it out there. So yeah, dude, I love stories like that.
Oh, for sure, man. Like, and it's
Who's your other mentor, by the way?
he's an artist named Damon. So
Okay.
I met him through my engineer. I had lost one of my best friends in 2016, and he was the one I made music with pretty much primarily.
Right.
If it wasn't with him, then it was by myself. That's really how I operated. And I felt lost after he passed. So I was just like, fuck, you know. I hit my engineer up. I was like, hey, you got anybody that's dope that would want to make songs? And happened to be Damon. who's he's doing his thing. He's on the Fours of Five. One of his songs is on Fours of Five.
Fucking sick.
He's got a couple placements that are in there, but I mean he's helped me a lot grow from a lot of the insecurities and stuff that I struggled with early on as an artist. I still struggle with them, but not nearly as bad as I did since he came in the picture. So I got two really solid ones for sure.
That's huge, dude. And it's interesting that you say that about the how you're still feeling like you're struggling with a lot of insecurities. Sometimes some of the best work that just exists comes out just from that moment when people are navigating that.
Yeah,
When they're like,
for
what
sure.
what about, I'm too scared. Oh, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. That's when the crazy shit comes out, because it's like the pressure builds diamonds.
That's facts.
I'm a big believer in that. I mean, like, yeah. So that's really dope that you had somebody that's gonna help you through that.
For sure.
Let's see here. Give me a dream. Like, how do you know you've made it? Like, what? Like, if you had like a little. Everybody has this, but like, what would be like a symbol or like an accomplishment or an achievement or like something happening? And I'll tell you mine really quick, just as an example.
Yeah.
My biggest dream with whatever music I ever touched or made, whether it was my own shit, whether it's something that I worked on, like my biggest thing was always if my music gets played in like a really fancy like luxury goods store in like a big airport, like in like the Gucci store or like in the duty free store. I don't know why, but
Undeniable. That's undeniable.
right, because
You're
there's
not
something
wrong.
about it. Because if your song is being played there, that means it's kind of transitioned. I know that's weird. Like, I know maybe some people will say, "Oh, I want it on Times Square billboard or some shit." But for me, that's always been like a thing, like at the
I get it.
London airport. So, do you
I
have something like
1000%
that?
get it.
That's maybe like something where you're like, "Yeah, that's when I know that my music has legs."
I mean, honestly, like I'd like to just make music as a living. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
don't have to be a huge star. Like which was what I used to think you had to be. You had to be
Yeah.
Drake. That's it. If you're not Drake, you're like I'm a failure. Pretty much is how my brain used to work. But now, man, if I didn't have to worry about where my next paycheck, if it was consistent, you know what I mean? If I wasn't always checking the stats because I'm trying to figure out how well or not it's doing. I think tangibly, I think it would be like not living in this apartment. But
Fuck yeah,
I mean,
no,
other
for
than
sure.
that, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be anything crazy.
So you just said something really interesting, which is like, kind of the core of what we're doing with Net Gala is, I just think like the Web3 NFT, like all this shit space. And again, like, it's funny that we're having this, we're recording this interview right now, obviously. And like with the way that everything's moving with all of this space, like the way that we think about everything in the space and what we know about it, what's happening right now, in a month, we might look back at this shit and go, wow, we didn't know shit. look what's happening right now.
How
Holy
wrong
shit.
we were.
Or how wrong we were, or how right we were. We have no idea, because I honestly am in awe of like what the fuck was happening last month. When we were coming up with this, like so much has changed. So I'm just thinking like, but one thing that I know is for sure, that it's interesting that you were saying that one of your things is that you're constantly looking at the stats. And believe me, bro, same thing with me. Same thing with everybody involved in this project. All the people that have clout, have millions of streams. Trust me, that shit doesn't end. But in my head, I kind of like my big thing and what I'm trying to foster with Net Gala is like, I think it's wrong that artists like you or me or anybody that's a creative person is even having to participate in that dance. I think that really sucks. I think it kills a lot of goodwill that comes out of an artist to have that worry. I think and I'm just wondering, like, what do you think in the future could be like an alternative? Like, obviously we have streaming, and in my personal opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion, tech companies coming in and creating this whole atmosphere, they've devalued everybody's music, from the biggest people in the world to the very smallest artists in the world. And I always liken it to, like, imagine if you have a restaurant and somebody comes in and sells a coupon for your restaurant. It says, yo, I'm not associated with you guys, but you guys owe these people that bought your coupon, you owe them a free dinner. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then you have to foot the bill. That's what it is, right? Because the artist has to pay for everything. So I'm just wondering, like, if you had a magic button, and maybe to put you kind of on the spot here, what do you think a future would be like for artists getting fairly compensated? Like, I don't know. How would you envision it?
It's tough because the streaming services have just made it almost impossible to make a living off of it.
Yeah.
For small artists to get in, like they've made it to the point where now record labels don't take a chance on somebody that's talented. You are basically already have to be moving like you have a record deal to get a record deal.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
it's just I don't know how we improve it. I don't know how it changes moving forward without the end of the streaming services, because it's just
That's kind of
getting
it's kind of crazy
getting
to think
dirt
about.
for yeah, you're getting dirt for it, and people can just stream it and it's no big deal. You know what I mean? I think a lot of the revenue used to come off of album purchases and album sales, and you can kind of count on, okay, if I sell 100 copies, that's a good amount of money if you're selling them for $10 a piece. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
I don't know,
Absolutely,
man. It's tough to say, but I think that what you guys are doing is like a way for us to kind of,
Yeah.
you know what, you're gonna do this, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go this way.
Hell yeah,
Now you
man.
can only be here, you know what I mean?
And I think one of the big things is like, with us having this conversation too, like I really hope that we're gonna go and show this people the stuff, and we want you guys to use these conversations too, and like kind of show the world really what you're about. And with that said, I got another couple questions here for you.
With it.
If you had not been doing music, say whatever moments in your life, something happened, whatever, what else would you be doing if not music? Like, because, the reason I'm asking that is, clearly the reason you're doing music, the reason I think I do music, the reason I think a lot of people do music is because it's like half passion and half like delusion, right? It's like this kind of weird combo of like, you gotta be a fucking insane person kind of to do it, right? So do you feel like anything else in your life you would have had that spark, that same kind of passion towards something else, had music not been there?
I don't think that I would be able to reflect on the past as well as I am like because I have so much music that's from the past that I can listen to it and it brings me back to a certain feeling. Like I remember that day. I remember, you know what I mean? So I think that,
Wow, that's fire. Yeah, of course.
and I was a helicopter mechanic in the military for like almost a decade.
Oh, incredible.
And I was doing music at the same time. And
While in the
one of
military.
Mhm.
That's so sick, dude.
Like I've released 3 mixtapes or 2 mixtapes, and that first album I was talking about were done while I was there, but it was tough. Like it was a second job. Like it got to that point where I had to put it down for a little bit. But had not been for that, like it's just definitely something to keep being proud of as an adult, because I get to see that stuff. There's not a lot of times where as an adult we get to be proud of something, as far as ourselves go.
That's profound, dude, and it's true. And especially in this world today, I think with like social media and people comparing each other, it's almost like there are things that we can be proud of, and we
Sure.
sort of back away from. You feel me? Like because of this.
Oh, for 100%. I
Right?
100% feel that.
I mean, listen, man, you're a helicopter mechanic for 10 years in the American military. That's, some people don't leave their fucking bed.
That's facts.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
facts.
That's fucking humongous. As
Yeah.
as a life accomplishment, most people are not even gonna scratch the surface of that. So, I mean, like I'm saying, but it's strange. We live in a world where it's like, oh, you were just in the military for, you know what I
Right.
mean? It's like,
If you didn't do this,
it's
you know
all
what I mean?
backwards. It's all fucking backwards. It's crazy.
Crazy.
So I guess last thing besides I want you to, at the very end of this, like plug whatever other stuff that you're working on, because that's the whole fucking purpose of all of this that we're doing. Want you guys to like use the community that we have as a platform for whatever it is you guys are doing in addition to it. Tell us about the song, man. Tell us about this particular song. And it's going to be playing, by the way, in the background on a loop while we're doing this interview. So
Okay.
tell us a little bit about it, man. From the
So
inception.
yeah, it's called Snapdragon. Like not my idea.
Sure.
Which is cool. It was a collaboration between two Twitch streamers,
Cool.
Alexander Black and Wild But Sober.
Cool.
And I don't know, I somehow wound up there one day, and I've kind of kept going back, and they're, I'm like Twitch famous, if you would, like amongst the music community, which
Hell
is
yeah.
not real. I sort of am.
Sure.
But people know
that's
me.
that's an
People know me.
accomplishment, man. That's an
Yeah.
accomplishment.
And he just asked me if I wanted to do the song. It took me a while. Like when it's a song like that where I'm really invested in it, it took me a little bit to get it back. When I got it back, they were stoked.
Yeah.
And then fun fact, I was talking to Sam, and he was, trying to get the Wild But Sober, who's he's one of the producers. He's like, yeah, we've been trying to get him on there. I'm like, dude, he's the one that did this beat. And he was like, no way. And I was like, yeah. Because I asked him, I was like, you know him? He's like, yeah, we've been trying to get him on this season. I'm like, dude, he's gonna be if you take this song. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, no way. I was like, yeah. So
That's super sick.
yeah, just kind of let it all rip with that one. That intro just kind of got me in my feels. So I kind of led with that. And
And what's the song
just
about?
kinda
Well, I mean,
was.
what to you? Like, what's the kind of story between the lyrics and everything?
It's kind of like a letting go story. Like, and it definitely plays that in within the thirds of the song, like the intro is very sad, and then it's
Mhm.
just like once that beat drops, 2/3 the way through, like it's just like, yeah, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like we're good, and just and then I think almost that the last third is like reminiscing on the times that they had, as far
Oh
as
yeah.
like how those feelings and stuff associated with it. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's a roller coaster, man. Like I said, it took me a long time, so it's pretty dope. I really do enjoy that record.
That's amazing, and it is a fantastic song. And again, we had the interview yesterday with Limon Limon, and his song, his entry is more like it's more like an indie rock type of joint.
Mhm.
And like I like the fact that we have your song, which also kind of like it's on this middle of like pop and kind of electronic and kind of it's not a full on like beat, because that's the thing in this kind of world. You have a lot of people that are beat makers, incredibly talented, kind of more
Right.
electronic. But so I'm really glad we had something with a little more soul, a little more vocal in it. So
Yeah.
we're glad that you're
I'm
part of this
stoked you guys.
eclectic
Yeah, I'm
group.
stoked you guys grabbed me, man. Like it was really cool when he hit me up. It's just like, you don't think of
Yeah.
yourself. At least I don't think of myself in that nature, where it's like Sam, ever since I've showed him my first song, just been all about it. He's all
Yeah.
about me and
He's
about how I'm underrated and this and that. It's like, man, I was like, that's awesome. So like I'll support him and you
well,
guys in any way that I
well, yeah,
can,
man,
man.
and that's why that's why I want to start like we wanted to start kind of ramping up these kind of conversations too, to like let people know who you are, um, and that's what it's all about, man. Is there anything else you want to plug? Anything else on the horizon?
I just dropped an album yesterday with the Coco, the producer I was telling you about. I
Yeah,
just
let
dropped.
us know.
It's called
We'll
Codependent.
okay.
And
We'll post all about it. We'll post all about it
oh
in Net
man, I
Gala, man.
appreciate that. I
Hell
appreciate
yeah.
that. Yeah, it dropped yesterday, 7-song EP, our second one, and I think this one's pretty special. I got all of my first one was kind of just me solo. This one is I got all the homies, because it's like I don't want to get to a position and then not share with those around me. You know what I mean? So I got there's a feature on every song. And
I know exactly how we're gonna promote it, dude. I have a great idea. We'll do a wristband giveaway. We'll blow it up. We'll blow it up on
That's
Twitter, dude.
awesome, dude. That's
Fuck yeah.
awesome, man.
Huge. Okay, man. Well, thank you so much, MelenKälē. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. You're fantastic, and we're
Sure.
so grateful to have you on the compilation on season 1.
Thank you so much, man.
All right, brother.